Today we're gonna have a lesson on Thanksgiving from inside the beautiful chaos of my home. Hey guys, come give me a hug. And here's one crying baby. I'm gonna say hi to daddy. And then here's my other baby. Hey everybody, my name is Chris Pavlin. Welcome to What Jesus Says About, where Jesus speaks for himself so you can respond for yourself. Today we're talking about what Jesus says. Today we're talking about what Jesus says about Thanksgiving. And the most famous account where Jesus speaks on Thanksgiving is this time where he's walking on the road from a city named Jericho to a city named Jerusalem. And as he's walking, 10 lepers, these people who have a disease of leprosy, they come up to him and they ask him to heal them. And in an interesting turn, Jesus tells them to go back and show themselves to the priest so they can begin the purification process to enter back into the community. And as they're walking, they look down and realize, oh my goodness, our disease is gone. And they start freaking out, they start rejoicing, giving high fives to each other. But one of the 10 lepers says, you know what, hey, I should go back and say thank you to that guy. And so he goes back and tells Jesus, thank you, falls down to Jesus' feet and thanks him for healing him. And then Jesus gives this like incriminating little statement. And then Jesus gives this interesting statement. He says, we're not all 10 cleansed. Where are the other 9? Has no one returned to give praise to God except this foreigner? And it's a stinging statement. And essentially what Jesus is doing is he's affirming what we all know intuitively, that it's good to give thanks. It's why we set aside an entire day to give thanks. And we call it Thanksgiving because we know it's good to give thanks. In fact, we know now that people who give thanks are happier, they're healthier, they have better relationships, better jobs, they eat better, they sleep better. So why should we limit giving thanks to just one day? That's why one of the things I love that we do as a family, we're by no means perfect, but I love one of the things we do as a family is a thankful journal. And I'll explain what this is. When we get done eating like this, I'll write down the day's date, and at the very top I write, Dear God, today I thank you, ... And then everyone goes around in a circle and takes a turn describing what they're thankful for that day. And then when I get done, I read last year's entry. And you just go through and you're like, oh man, I remember that. Oh, I remember that from that day. That was a lot of fun. So my challenge for you is to live out what Jesus says about Thanksgiving. For the next 7 days, just 7 days, you grab a piece of paper, a journal, a napkin, it doesn't matter what you write on. Just write down one thing every day for the next 7 days that you are thankful for. And watch what begins to happen as you start to think through all of the things, like the Rolodex of all the things that you have to be thankful for. And a happier, healthier version of you is waiting to say thank you on the other side. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Say bye, Keisha.
Bye.